Hi everyone. I wanted to do a video on the new trend that's going down on TikTok for addict parents. Unfortunately, I am definitely the perfect candidate for, telling a story that involves this. Both of my parents are addicts. I'm a recovering alcoholic and I had an issue with cocaine. My father was addicted to meth most of my life. My mother was addicted to heroin and meth, and my brother was a meth user also. My grandfather is also a recovering alcoholic, and I hope that my story helps somebody realize that there is hope. There is an opportunity of rebuilding things and making things happen. For some reason, or what I've learned during my experience of addiction and watching other people that I love, I've learned that guilt is the number one thing that drives an addict. It's usually what sets an addict back. It's usually what makes people stuck in, the addict mind, the addict lifestyle, because most addicts feel that there's nothing to come back to, especially after they've burned a lot of bridges and wronged a lot of people that they love. Guilt usually keeps them in their place because they feel like there's no one to come home to. There's no reason to be clean. And if you are struggling with addiction, or if you know someone who is, just remember that there is hope. There's always someone waiting for you to return. There's always someone thinking about you, someone missing you, someone wondering if you're okay. There's always somebody to come back to. No matter how many things you've done, no matter how many crazy, outlandish, out of character things you did in your addiction, there's always someone rooting for you, hoping that you make it home. My father was an addict since the young age of 11. Unfortunately, he grew up in a family dynamic where he did not have support. He did not have that mother or father that he deserved. My father grew up watching his parents get high from a very young age, and so he started getting high from a very young age, unfortunately. I don't like talking about that much because it's hard for me not to have resentment towards that side of my family because of what my father has been through. But that's another story. My mother didn't become an addict until I was about 15 or 16. My brother and I did not meet our father again. I'm talking about my brother Connor. I talk about him a lot on my page. He passed away in 2022 of a brain aneurysm. Me and him shared the same father, and we did not get to meet our father again until I was 11 years old, and Connor was 9. So we didn't really get that much time with my father when we were younger, and we got about a good year with him before he went back to prison. And he didn't get out again until I was 22 years old, and my brother Connor was 19. So my father had a really hard time with my brother's death because he holds a lot of guilt for time that he missed, and he wishes that he would have taught Connor better because my brother had the same addiction that he had, and he wished that he would have given him better tools to do better. My father did not get clean immediately after my brother passed. My father actually kind of had a mental breakdown after my brother passed, which I'm not necessarily angry at him for, and I don't judge him completely because of it, because as a parent, anyone who loses a child, that alone is, a big enough reason to lose your mind or go off the deep end. Let alone someone who's a recovering addict. So my father went back to prison for a few months shortly after my brother passed, and he's doing much better now. He has another little girl who is 3 years old. I get to watch my dad be a dad again. I get to watch him do the things that he wished he would have done with me and my brother, with my little sister, and my little sister gets to grow up with my daughter who is 2 years old. So it's kind of a bittersweet situation. It's definitely not a normal family dynamic, but me and my father are parents together, and watching him be a good dad to my little sister fills the void of certain things that I didn't have as a child. So it is definitely bittersweet. My father is proof that even after 10, 15, 20, 30 years, you can build again. You can have a family again. So if you believe you can't, trust me, you can. There are so many opportunities out there for you. It may not be exactly the way you imagined it, but there are opportunities for you. My mother is a great example as well, because my mother got clean literally the day after my brother passed away. Basically, the day after my brother passed away, my mom had enough, went to rehab, sober living. She is now off paper. My father will be off paper here soon as well, and he's been a ward of the state for a very long time. And if you know anyone who's been on probation, you know how rare and hard it is to get off of paper. So I am very proud of my parents to say that they really did make it. They faced their judgment, if that makes sense, and they paid the price for mistakes that they made. The ultimate price that they paid was losing my brother. Unfortunately, sometimes when people are living in the addict mind, living on the streets, and they don't see like the light at the end of the tunnel or an end to their suffering, sometimes really bad things have to happen in order for people to get free. My mother lost 2 significant people to her during her addiction that died of an overdose before my brother passed away. And that's very common too. Some people who come out of addiction have an extremely hard time with grief because a lot of their friends or people that they were close to that were also in addiction pass away. Some people, by the time they get out 15, 20 years later, they have handfuls of friends that passed during their addiction, and that is very common. My mother is a godsend to me now. She literally, if it wasn't for my mom, me and my daughter wouldn't have so many opportunities. My mother understands the struggle of being a single mom, so she stepped up immediately after becoming clean and started helping me, even though she didn't have to. She helps me raise my daughter. She helps babysit. She helps provide. She helps me teach her things. She's literally just like another parent to my daughter. Willingly, I didn't ask her to do that. She just wanted to do that because she missed out on a lot of time, and it's really hard for both of my parents because experiencing the loss of a child is absolutely devastating. And my brother's death is somewhat of a beautiful tragedy because it has changed a lot of our lives for the better. You know, like I said, both my parents are doing great. They're about to be off of paper. They're no longer gonna, you know, my mom's off probation. It's crazy to think that this is what it's turned out to be, because for a very long time I didn't think that I would have my parents. For a very long time I thought that you know, it was just going to be that way forever. So having them home, having them be good grandparents, having them be great parents, you know, it's amazing. And another gift that we have from the universe is my nephew. My brother had a son before he passed, and my nephew is 3 years old now. He's amazing. He's hilarious. He's sweet. He's talented. He's so much like my brother. It's really a gift. Sometimes you have to experience horrible things to reach that point in your addiction where you no longer want to be messed up. You have to reach a point in your addiction where you truly want to be sober forever. And recovery is a forever battle. It doesn't matter how long you've been clean. It's a battle that will last forever. If you have a friend or a family member who's struggling with addiction, or if you are, just know that those bridges can be rebuilt and you can prove yourself again. You just have to believe that you deserve more, and the people you love deserve to have you home. I hope this teaches you guys to do it sooner rather than later. Thank you guys.